Welcome to the 2014 Superintendent Scholar and Duke Tips Scholar Recognition Ceremony. Tonight marks the 29th anniversary of this recognition ceremony. We are recognizing 10th grade students who have had the highest scores on the October PSAT test and our 7th graders who have qualified to be named Duke Tip Scholars. First, I would simply like to thank each of you for being here, and I would also like to thank a few people. If you're a principal, assistant principal, or a counselor at one of our high schools, would you please stand and kind of wave at the crowd? They're spread around. Having been a high school principal and an assistant principal, I can tell you there's countless hours that go into that job. So from my standpoint, I appreciate what you do. And my wife's a high school counselor, so she would not, if I don't thank the counselors, I'm in trouble when I go home. So counselors, you do a great job as well. There's a committee that puts this together, and those individuals are here. When I call your name, would you please stand? Dr. Javon Wells, Associate Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. Dr. Kimberly Claycamp, Director of Planning, Research, and Evaluation. Dr. Rhonda Davis, Director of Special Programs. Ruby Armstrong, Director of Guidance and Counseling. Dr. Kristen Etney, Advanced Academics Administrator. Cheryl Beard, Gifted and Talented Coordinator. And Bree Smith, College and Career Readiness Facilitator. The Superintendent Scholar Program originated in 1985 as a direct result of the #1 priority of the Board of Trustees, improve the academic achievement of GISD students. The goal remains our highest priority 29 years later. Many sophomores here tonight qualified to be a Duke Tip Scholar in 7th grade and had their first experience with the challenge of an SAT test. And this year as sophomores, you had the opportunity to take the PSAT in October, which is the shortened version of the SAT. The simple fact that you are here tonight says that you have done well on these tests. In fact, you have done so well that we believe that you have the potential to score high enough on the PSAT next year to qualify as a commended student, a National Merit semifinalist, or even the coveted National Merit Scholar designation. Achieving one of these honors can earn you scholarships at many universities in the United States and can give you an edge in the selective process for college admission. A high score on the PSAT also communicates that you're academically prepared for college. Tonight, we will describe a special program designed to help you prepare for taking the PSAT, the National Merit Scholarship qualifying test, as a junior in October. I believe you will find these classes to be both useful and profitable. We are also recognizing our Duke Tip Scholars tonight. The Duke University Talent Identification Program identifies academically talented 7th grade students based on their performance on the SAT or ACT this past January. Students, we are proud of your accomplishments and hope you will continue to strive to excel academically. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Larry Glick, a member of our Board of Trustees, and he will come here and have a few comments from the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Morrison. I'd also like to introduce our trustee, Ms. Linda Griffin, who's here this evening. 2 weeks ago, we had the senior summit in which we honored the top seniors at each of our high schools. And in my address to those seniors, I said there was a 5-letter word that described them, and that word was smart. And that word applies to you also this evening. Being smart, I imagine you get questions from grandparents, even your parents, friends, relatives. Well, what do you want to do with your life? What are you going to major in college? What career do you want to take? Do you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer? Any of those type of professions. But let me give you a story this evening that it's maybe not quite important at this age to make that decision. and maybe you'll change your mind, and maybe you'll go in a different direction. See, when I was very, very young, and I don't know why it happened, I excelled in math. Third, fourth, fifth grade, clearly I was the best math student in elementary school. When I got to seventh grade, I'm not sure what tests we were given. I don't think it was the PSAT back then, but there was a test. And I scored so highly that I was invited to summer sessions at major universities. That first summer, I attended Columbia University for math. And after eighth grade, I attended Yale University to study in math. When I got to high school, and our high school was very, very large, over 5,000 students. In my sophomore year, I was picked to be on the math team. That was the first sophomore ever picked to be on our math team. Junior year, again on the math team, and finally in my senior year, I was captain of the math team. And articles were written about us. We had 8 kids on our math team. 5 of us scored 800 in math on the SAT. The others, they were laggards. They had scores in the 750s. We won so many contests that other schools, the most famous high school in New York City, Bronx High School of Science, was afraid to compete against us. And so I knew what my career path was going to be. I was going to be an engineer or an actuary. There was no doubt in anybody's mind, grandparents, parents, friends, even myself, I believed that was the direction I was going to go. However, a strange thing happened in calculus in the last half of my senior year. Now, up to that year, starting in 3rd or 4th grade, every time a teacher had asked for a problem to be put on the blackboard, I was the one chosen to do it. Every time a teacher said, "Who has the answer?" I raised my hand first. Strange thing happened, though, in the end of that 12th year. There was another kid. His name was Frank. And every once in a while, his hand would come up before mine. No one really noticed it. I was still the king of math in my school of 5,000 kids. Every once in a while, however, then the principal would come and congratulate Frank because of a test that he had done, a national test. Every once in a while, Frank would put the answer on the blackboard, not me. And I started saying, am I as good as I think I am? Frank was on the math team, but he was not, the captain. Sometimes in some of the contests, he didn't even compete. But I started realizing he was probably better in math than I was. And it was somewhat of a shock because I had full rides to every top engineering school in the United States. You name them, I had a free ride. And when I got to college, I started questioning, did I want to be an engineer? Did I want to be an actuary? And I started taking some classes that were non-engineering classes. Political science, history, different types of English courses. And I enjoyed them as much, if not more, than the engineering courses I was taking. And somewhere at the end of that first year, I said, I don't believe I want to be an engineer anymore. And it was tough to come to that decision because my scholarship was based on that, although the school was willing to say, okay, you can move to a different discipline. But I made a choice. I don't love it anymore. It's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I made that change. And people who had known me throughout high school and public school said, we thought you were going to be the next great engineer. And I said, I will be the next great something. It might not be an engineer. I probably will not be an engineer. And I think I could say to you this evening that I turned out okay. I've taken 2 cases to the United States Supreme Court where I am admitted to practice. I have started 7 different businesses. I have an MBA in finance and accounting, so I use my math. I'm just not an engineer, and I'm not an actuary. So when anybody tries to say, this is what you have to do, because maybe your grandfather was this, or your father is this, or your uncle is this, or your mother is this, maybe yes, maybe no. But it's your choice, it's your life, it's your career. You must make that decision. One further thing I'd like to say to you. I'm going to talk to the parents. I've had so many people, since I've been on the school board for 7 years now, say, I didn't know that the 7th grade PSAT is the one that led to national merit. I wish somebody would have told me. Now, we've put it on our website, multiple places. We put out information telling you that. You're hearing it tonight. The superintendent just told you. You're going to see a video that talks about it. Please, parents, we give you, your kids, a great opportunity in the summer to get more and more training leading to the national merit. You know how many scholarships dollars are out there for national merit qualified students. Take advantage of what this district wants to offer you. Again, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, congratulations, and it's okay to say you're smart.
Good evening. I'm Bree Smith, coordinator of the Superintendent Scholars Academy. The summer program offers you the opportunity to hone your skills and prepare for the 11th grade PSAT, which is also the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. The National Merit Competition honors the top-scoring juniors across the nation. You have already proven to be a top-scoring student in GISD, and we know that you have what it takes to receive national merit recognition. If you are here this evening as a Duke Scholar, you too are on the right path. Keep challenging yourself with rigorous and advanced courses and do your best each and every day. In 10th grade, you'll take the PSAT for your opportunity to become a Superintendent Scholar. We look forward to seeing you back here in a few years. Participating in the Summer Academy is the first step in the journey for our Superintendent Scholars. Our Academy coaches receive specialized training designed to provide you with the skills, tips, and test-taking tricks you need to maximize your score. It's not uncommon for participants to experience a 20 to 30 point jump on the PSAT. This is equivalent to 200 to 300 points on the SAT. But you don't have to take my word for it.
Hey guys, I'm Rachel Liston. I'm going to UT in the fall, Hook'em Horns. And I participated in the Summer Scholar Academy, and I would really recommend it for you guys because it was super helpful for me for the PSAT. I would definitely attribute my success on that to the workshop for sure. It just teaches you a lot of skills that you'll need. I remember one thing it taught me in particular was to answer all of the questions on a page and then go back and bubble them in so you can give your brain time to recharge, and that was super helpful to me. So yeah, I just would really recommend it for you guys.
2 years ago, I was a sophomore recognized as a superintendent scholar with a PSAT score of 192. My junior year, after attending the superintendent scholars thing over summer and studying some more, I got a 222, a boost of 30 points, and became a National Merit Scholar. The thing is, at least in my school, the 3 semifinalists that we had, they weren't really the ones you would expect. They weren't valedictorian, they weren't high-level geniuses. They studied. We all studied, and so even though we weren't the ones you might expect to be National Merit Scholars, we did in fact do extremely well. And of course, some of you are thinking, oh, I don't need to study, I've got it in the bag, I know this stuff. And some of you are thinking, why bother? I'm not going to get it. You'd really be surprised. You'd be surprised at how much you need to study and how much good studying does.
Hi, I'm Ron Hearn from Rowlett High School. I want to share just a couple of thoughts about the Superintendent Scholars Academy with you. First off, having done it the past few years, it's very powerful to me when I see the names of some of the National Merit qualifiers each year and realize I had some of those students in my classes. I like to think that maybe in a very small way I had a chance to give them a tip or a trick or a technique that might have helped them raise their score just a little bit to reach that level. So it's always kind of energizing for me to see those qualifiers each year. Secondly, it's a tremendous opportunity to see what I call the best and the brightest of GISD. The Superintendent Scholars are a reserved group. They're very accustomed to success and they come in with high expectations. So it's challenging for me to be on my A game to help them learn and improve the skills they already have. And then maybe finally, the Superintendent Scholars Academy is also a learning experience for me. Every summer we will have practice exams and we will debrief some of the problems in class. It always seems like someone will say, Mr. Hearn, would you do number 18? And I'll work it on the board. And then at the end, someone from the back of the room will raise their hand and go, there's another way to do that problem. So I learn new ways to think and new ways to look at problems from the students. So it's a very interactive session. We have a lot of fun, and we learn a lot during those 3 weeks. It's designed to help each of the participants improve their scores.
In my opinion, it's definitely a good idea to do it because even though you lose a little bit of time during your summer that you could be spending with your friends, you get to study for the PSAT, and a lot of scholarships and colleges look at your PSAT score to see how much money they're going to give you. And because of the PSAT, I'm a National Hispanic Scholar, so UT Dallas has offered me a full ride.
Hello, my name is Monica Benai, and I'm currently a senior at Garland High School. In the fall, I'll be attending UT Austin in order to study chemical engineering with a minor in business. I'm also proud to call myself a National Achievement Finalist. Just like y'all will, I had the opportunity to attend the Superintendent Summer Scholars Program, and so I had a whole lot of teachers who took time out of their summer in order to help me do better on the SAT, as well as this environment of hardworking, intelligent students who motivated me to do better. I honestly think that the Summer Scholars Program is what contributed to me raising my SAT score up to almost 300 points. And so you might be saying 300 points, that's not even possible, but I'm telling you, it really is possible. And I'm no genius either. I didn't take KD, Karen Dillard, or any type of professional classes, but I did go to my local library, get books, check out books, and then work each month, every once a week or so, in order to help myself do better on the SAT, and it really is possible. I'm just trying to tell you that every student in this room, every single student has the possibility to become a National Achievement Finalist or a National Merit Finalist, or else you wouldn't be sitting here. And so thank you for having me, and everyone have a great night.
Hello, my name is Olatune Badejo, and I'm first and foremost here to congratulate you on being named a Superintendent Scholar. It's a very big accomplishment that both you and your whole family should be proud of. So, like you, I was named a Superintendent Scholar my sophomore year here at North Garland, and it was a big thing for me. My parents were very proud of me, and I had a lot of people congratulating me. One thing we all have in common here is that someone in the GISD office felt the need to invest time and money into us so that we could do better on the PSAT and ultimately the SAT. So later on, you'll be receiving some information about the Superintendent Scholar Summer Academy, and it's a summer SAT and PSAT prep class, followed by some refresher courses in the fall. And to me, those classes were the most helpful thing I did in my SAT and PSAT preparation. The teachers in the classes are wonderful. They have a lot of practice tests, a lot of practice questions. They go through all the concepts. They'll leave no stone unturned to make sure you're prepared for the test. And the biggest thing I took away from the classes was just learning how to think like the SAT. Learning how to approach all the problems and, just learning general strategies. So I think as someone who's aspiring to be a national achievement, national merit, or national commended scholar, that the Superintendent Scholar Summer Academy is something you should definitely do, and I would highly recommend that all of you attend.
Now that you've heard from several of our past participants and how much they benefited from this experience, think about how the Superintendent Scholars Academy could benefit you. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. If you haven't already confirmed your participation in the program, it's not too late. Simply go to the link listed on your invitation and complete the form. If you no longer have the invitation, check with your counselor before you leave tonight. I look forward to seeing you at the Superintendent Scholars Academy.
Good evening again. I just want to take a little bit of time to recognize a set of students who are here tonight who are not superintendent scholars now because they've moved on from that. We're going to talk a little bit about what this program can result in and share a little bit of information with you. Again, I'm Rhonda Davis. I'm the Director of Special Programs, and I'm very proud to be a part of this ceremony this evening and to recognize all of you guys for all of the accomplishments that you have over the last year in your SAT and PSAT scores. So thank you for being here, and parents, thank you for being here again tonight. Each year in the United States, 1.5 million juniors take the PSAT. In early September, about 16,000, or approximately 1% of the highest scoring students, are notified that they have qualified as National Merit semifinalists. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation then provides scholarship application materials to the semifinalists. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation aims to honor the nation's scholastic champions and encourage the pursuit of academic excellence. To be considered for the National Merit Scholarship, semifinalists must advance to finalist standing. The way that they do that is after they submit a required application, be fully endorsed by their high school principal, have a record of consistently very high academic performance in every grade, 9 through 12, and in any college coursework that they might have taken during their high school years, and they must take the SAT as a senior. The SAT scores must confirm the previous year's PSAT scores. No flukes, in other words. You have to be able to do it twice. In February, about 15,000 semifinalists are notified that they have advanced to finalist standing. High school principals are notified and provided with a certificate to present to each finalist. We are pleased this year in Garland ISD to have 4 National Merit semifinalists, and 3 of them are with us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, they represent the top 1% in the nation. Come on. No, hang on. No. That's awesome. That is awesome. They thought I was calling them up to the stage. They're so compliant. I love it. Thanks, guys. So we'd like to take a moment, of course, to recognize these outstanding students. They are Sierra Brune. Now you can stand up. Laura Toller. And Austin Patterson. Alyssa Hopkins is also a National Merit semifinalist, but she could not be here with us this evening, but I did not want to negate telling you that she is one of those also. I'm also pleased to inform you tonight that 2 of these students have been named as National Merit finalists. They are Sierra Brune and Laura Toller. Stand back up. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to ask our representatives on stage if you guys will move into pin position. Do you mind? I appreciate it. And I'm going to call on our Associate Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Javon Wells, to come and call the names of our Superintendent Scholars, and after that, we will call the Duke Tip Scholars.
Laurel Carr. Jessica Butcher. Hannah Burrell. Jaden Bouguillon. Adam Bond. Benjamin Ballard. Mitchell Bacon, Rachel Alexander, Dion Acuna, Delopo Adikbil, Sarah Adams, Kendall Brown, Heather Hansen, Christopher Freeland, Tristan Even, Adrian Durbin, Con Doe, Emily Dickey, Teresa Denker, Clayton Dana Bashan, John David Cladera, Mutasimcho Derry, Chowdhury, Hannah Carroll, Brent Matthias, Alyssa Mont,
Esha McWanna, Caitlin Mabry, Jacob Leibarger, Jessica Liston, Catherine Lines, Jenny Lee, Taylor Lamb, Nicholas Kopp, Preston Knowles, Harrison Knowles, Matthew Jeffcoat, Bridget Jackson, Natalie Hurlbert, QTN Fam, Victoria Patterson, Neil Patel, Joaquin Nunez, Victoria Obanaye, Julie Nin, Michelle Wynn, Annie Wynn, Alan Wynn, Audrey No, Zacharias Mulat, Elizabeth Mouthy, Casey Tavonian, Brooke Stringer, Seth Striffley, Kelsey Stevenson, Mason Springfield, Alyssa Schroed, Jack Schlosser, Fariha Salah. Connor Roberts. Paige Rigsby. Catherine Rainey. Laura Proshek. Justine Fahn. Kyler Wortham. Arthur Williams. Dylan Worth. Billy Vo. And Samuel Vaughn. We're going to move on to the Duke Tip Scholars at this time so that you know we made a switch because some of them look old enough to be sophomores. So these are our seventh. We're not. We have. Never mind.
They are old enough to be sophomores.
Thank you, Dr. Morrison. They are old enough to be sophomores. Thank you. Joshua Varghese. Christopher Tran. Tessa Toller. Okay. Eliza Thornton. Is that it? Now, I was not a National Merit semifinalist. I know that laugh. We're going to move on to the Duke Tip Scholars.
Nasif Mahmood. Andy Lee. Tyler Kelgard. Daniel Jimenez. Amy Herman. Darlene Futrall. Aubrey Frazier. Nicholas Dominguez. Sierra Kugot. Bo Bashirs. Aiden Barajas. Eden Babovec. Lonray Aquinda. Siham Dulbaki. Christopher Vo. Lynn Tron. Brian Tron. Timothy Thomas. Sahatsawat Sasamfani. Leanne Rosos. Kwa Pham. Stephanie Nunez. Adib Momin. Keaton McGill. Daniel Ye. Kennedy Waterman.